Today's subject, how to recognize change. There's a saying that there's only one true constant, and that's that change is inevitable. People that fight change, that's what causes a lot of the anxiety they have. That's what causes them to fear the unknown. You ready? Riding with Coach Kia, let's go. Boy, we are getting it in, people. And for copyright stuff, I'm going to take that off. Do not represent the department I work for. This is strictly my own ideas. I just noticed other YouTubers doing little disclaimers like that. A couple things. I'm not a doctor. I am not a scientist. I am not a lawyer. But I'll tell you what I am. I'm an online fitness and nutrition coach who's helped clients around the world lose weight, get back into shape. And I am a 15-year firefighter paramedic. And you are up in the front seat. You're riding with Coach Kia. Today, you are getting a sneak peek, inside look. And you are now watching Driven video series with me where I'm just giving you some talks. And we're talking about any subject that pops up between my ride from home to work, about a 40-minute drive. And I always start these episodes off with a weather report. So right now, it is a brisk 38 to 45 degrees out. Beautiful sunrise coming over the Kansas horizon. And we're getting over to cross into state lines. So if you're not familiar with the Kansas and Missouri area, Kansas City area, I live just on the Kansas side. I work in Missouri, so it's a 40-minute drive to work, and we cross state lines. And you can't really tell. It's just this line that we've got made up that we cross through. I'm talking about on the streets. You can't really tell, which makes me think about today's subject, how to recognize change. There's a saying that there's only one true constant in life, and that's that change is inevitable. And people that fight change, that's what causes a lot of the anxiety they have. That's what causes them to fear the unknown. One of the approaches that I've taken that I find helpful, that I'm constantly pushing on to my clients and reminding them that, hey, this is different. This is why it feels strange. This is why there's a little bit of fear involved, because this is outside of your normal. And most people resist that. There's a old philosophy, Sun Tzu. So he talks about the flow state of water and how a stream's going downhill, or it's flowing. It's going to flow its natural path. If you're in that stream and you're constantly fighting against the current, trying to swim upstream, you're fighting it. This is an analogy for change in your life. Swimming against the current as hard as you can. And no matter what you do, when you have to stop and take breaks because you get exhausted or you get frustrated and you give up, what happens? No matter how much ground you gain, you start going back and following the flow of the current of the river. And the first time I heard that, I thought, yeah, just get your ass out of the river and start walking. But the analogy was really profound when I sat and thought about it. And all Sun Tzu postulates after that is that no matter how hard you fight change, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. The flow of the river is going to take you wherever it takes you. Regardless of how you feel, if you remove your feelings away, be detached from the outcome, care about what you're doing, but give up your feelings for how it turns out. As long as you understand that you're going with the flow and you understand the journey. That hit me a little different because I'm sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, man, how many times did I fight and get upset and be irritated with the way a situation was going? How many times did I fear like sticking, we'll use fitness and nutrition, sticking to a new like eating regimen and workout regimen, waking up early in the morning and being like, man, fuck this. For real, fuck this. I'm going back to bed. But stuck to it and still ended up wherever I was going to end up anyways. Okay, I'll give you a better one. Politics. I don't talk about politics, religion, but I'm using this as an example. So don't come after me. The elections, for instance. I used to be really involved with table talk and all the debates and the Facebook wars, and people would get into it. And some people still aren't friends to this day over Facebook posts and arguing. And no matter who won, the fights ensued. But no matter what, like, life goes on, regardless of who's in power, who's been elected to your local council, the presidency, whatever it is. Think about it. Like, no matter how mad or upset you got or how much you fought, it didn't really change anything. And so that was an aha moment for me. You do what you can. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you not to go out and vote, not do the things you can. But the things you simply can't control, regardless of what you do, you should be indifferent to it. Does that make sense? That's such a valuable lesson going through life. Football games is the other thing. I used to really be into sports. The local team here is the Kansas City Chiefs. And they're popular now, and they're winning now. They're a dynasty now. But when my family moved to the Missouri area from California, we came in the early 90s, 1990. And if you're anything of a sports historian or a Chiefs fan, you will know that in the 90s, they were terrible. There was a short stint when Joey Montana came and they had a little bit of success, but that was, like, we watched that playoff game, of course, when they won a playoff game. But for years after that, it was always, oh, their last playoff win was in 94. Back when Joey Montana took the Chiefs to like a 13-3 record, there was a ton of success during the Trent Green era. That was always brought up because it had never had success in the postseason. And any true sports fan, regardless of your team, regardless of your sport, can attest to this, where you're cheering for your team so hard and they end up losing the game or some decision gets made, and it dictates the rest of your week. And if you think about it, nothing really changed about your life and your situation. It's how you perceive the game, and then you took that on to the rest of your week. The river flowing, regardless of how you were swimming against it, the video game, the Super Bowl, playoff, whatever it is, like, your life is inherently still the same. And you're going to end up where you end up regardless of how that team does, if it's outside of your control. If you have a relative that plays in the league, or maybe you're ref or you're a player, that's so much different because you actually are playing a part in the game. I'm talking from my perspective. When I relate that to my life and started being indifferent and detaching myself emotionally from the outcome of things, it's really been like a weight off my shoulder. And I believe that's a valuable lesson that a lot of people could benefit from. It totally was not the intended topic for today's drive and Ride with Coach Kia, but it's been one of the most impactful ones for me. Spent the time where I read a bunch of books, and now with the advent of the internet, we could listen to audiobooks and podcasts, all types of educational videos. This was one that I came across. Sun Tzu. Also listened a lot into ancient Greek philosophy, Stoicism, different philosophical approaches and disciplines. Arthur Schopenhauer is a good one to listen to. Marcus Aurelius. There's several of these names that keep popping up, and some of the really good quotes and really good philosophical approaches that I actually will lead to my day-to-day life, and especially when it comes to fitness. I highly suggest checking those out, reading into them, giving them a listen. I'm not telling you to change your whole philosophical outlook on life and fitness, work, and all of that, but it does help to challenge those strongly held beliefs, especially in how you're approaching things. I'm one of those people. Let me know in the comments down below if you're one of those too, where you're either all in or all out. You're either a diehard fan or you don't give a shit. You're either somebody's absolute best friend or you're indifferent, or you're almost their enemy, the opposite. And that's how I approach things. I'm either like going down the rabbit hole, watching videos on subjects and trying to learn more about it, like completely obsessed with it until I know everything I want to know about a particular topic. That's the approach I take in the gym, in my coaching business, with my clients. I'm either like all in with them, or I'm like, man, this just ain't gonna work out. I've had a couple where I'm like, hey, if you can't get this, if you can't detach yourself from the outcome and just do the steps that are necessary, this is not going to work. And I don't want to waste your time, because I value your time, because I value my time. And it would not be very ethical or right of me to continue wasting your time if I know that the outcome, if I could already see the writing on the wall. You know what I'm saying? I feel that has been one of the best traits that I've taken on, especially since adopting that philosophy in my life. Now, I'm not telling you to not care. Be like, oh, fuck it, I don't care. It's good. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. That's not what I mean. What I mean is detaching your feelings from the outcome. And one of the things I'm going through now as a coach that is I'm learning that it's not coaching. It's not all coaching. It's not all prescribing reps and sets and telling people what to eat. A lot of it is the interpersonal talking to, working through these mental dilemmas that we set up for ourselves and sharing some of these lessons to help people overcome those challenges. I am not a therapist, far from it, but I almost feel like one at times because I'll be using some of these analogies and some of these philosophies and applying them to principles that are just fundamentally true and changing my client's paradigm when it comes to approaching these problems. And I feel like that's one of the biggest advantages from having somebody with some experience that's dealt with a similar issue that you're trying to overcome is you save yourself a lot of time and frustration, money, effort, you name it. You're going to save yourself a lot of that valuable resource, whatever it is that you're putting towards getting that change by having the right answers and having the right approach to it. It's been key for me. And if you've been watching the background, the sun is coming up. I am now in Missouri. I'm only an exit or two away from the station I'm working at today. I'm starting a 48-hour shift. We work 48s, and I'm getting to drive the ladder truck today. And it's a different apparatus that I'm used to driving. I'm used to driving a pumper or an ambulance or being the attending paramedic. And I can remember a time when I would be so worked up and so nervous, so afraid of going to a new district and a new piece of equipment and a new crew. And when I started adopting this philosophy we're talking about today, just detaching myself from the emotional outcome of things and just concentrating on the things I can control, you can see I'm as cool as a cucumber because I don't know how the day's going to play out. But I do know what I'm capable of controlling. I'm capable of controlling and going there and doing all my safety checks. I'm in control of making sure that I'm ready to respond. I'm in control of what I eat. I'm in control when I decide to binge watch Netflix with the fellas and put in the recliner time. I'm in control of whether I decide to stay up all night doom scrolling or get some rest just in case we get called out in the middle of the night. I'm in control if I decide to be irritated or upset with the way a call is going. I'm in control. Regardless of how it turns out, as long as I, with 100% of my heart, mind, and spirit, do what I feel is right and do what I can control, the way it turns out is going to turn out however it goes, regardless. I can sleep well at night knowing that I gave it my best effort and that regardless of what I do, certain things are just going to happen anyways. I can't control if a fire breaks out today. I can't control on how quickly I respond and that everything's ready to go and that I did my best. Such a game changer for me. That river's going to be flowing. It was flowing well before I had ever been around. It's going to be flowing well after I leave. I have no emotional attachment to that. But I do have a level of understanding, and I feel that once you can master that concept, things are different. There's a whole lot less weight off your shoulders. I'm getting deep into the philosophies. I would like to encourage anybody that's watching, anybody that's listening, to stay tuned. This video series is something that I decided to do because one of my excuses was that I didn't have time. I don't have time. I don't have any camera equipment. I'm not a video guy, but that was my excuse. And so worried about the video being perfect, worried about the production being right, so worried about cover pages and keywords. And I've been posting them anyways. It doesn't matter as long as I do my best and I'm completely honest with myself. I speak my truth and my intent is 100% pure. That regardless of anything you get out of the videos that I do or any other content I put out, my number one goal is hopefully that it inspires somebody and hopefully you learn something. And if one person takes any of these concepts and it has a positive impact in their life, whether I learn about it or not, it's going to make it all worth it. Make the learning of the videos worth it. Make it me really late to being late worth it. I got 10 minutes. And I know that the most valuable thing that you have is your time. And I want to thank you for spending that little bit of time with me, riding in the seat in the video series Driven with Coach Kia. I encourage you to follow me on any of my socials. I'm going to apply some links down below. Reach out if you have questions. You can reach out directly, email me, or if you want to, you could also schedule a one-on-one coaching session where we can talk about whatever it is you need. I do blueprint sessions where we talk about the number one struggle that's holding people back with nutrition and fitness. Not only that, is I provide them with a blueprint and actionable steps that they can take to get them in the right direction. Free resources, diet planners, exercise guides, have a supportive community that's free. The Tautua Tribe fitness community, I use the school app where you can access some of these courses where we walk you through step by step, provide you all the materials you need, but more importantly, give you a tribe of supportive people that give continuous encouragement, challenges, and up-to-date training. Also, have a chance to hop in some of my live sessions and ask questions directly, or bypass all that and get in on one of the coaching sessions. So about a turn or two away from the station. Again, thank you for spending your time. Be sure to like it, subscribe, leave me some feedback. If you have a particular topic or challenge that you've been facing and you want some insights, I'll give you some. But first thing you gotta do is hop in this front seat and ride with Coach Kia. You guys all have a fantastic, wonderful, blessed, and safe day. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. Stay true to yourself. This is Coach Kia, signing off.